Hey guys, so today's video is a project pan update that I haven't done, I think, in like a month, because I was trying to figure out what stuff that I actually want to use up and what I don't, and I think I've got like a final set of items for the foreseeable future, but I don't know how long that's going to last, I'm going to be honest with you guys. So let's just get into it, but we'll see how I'm getting along. Maybe like halfway through the year, I'll just see how I'm getting along, and then so let's just go base first. Like, let's literally just go in the order that I do my makeup. And I have all of them in these bags by Ali Glines. She's like another YouTuber. And I just have these two for like everyday makeup. There's like base and then like other stuff, including brushes. Brushes also fit in here. So let's just get into it. So, just yesterday I finished one of these travel size Milk Hydro Grip primers. And I have another one. I have two for some reason. I think I got them in some kind of an advent calendar. And the other one literally took me like maybe a week or so to use up. So I've got another one that I can use up, and then I think I have a full size, but we'll get into that in a minute. I mean later, like once I'm done with this one, I'll probably jump into like the full size Hydro Grip. Then just yesterday, I used up a lot of stuff yesterday, like just finished stuff off. I finished my Pat McGrath Labs concealer and I threw it away. I didn't keep it for you guys, I'm sorry. I just don't like keeping rubbish laying around. So I've added in my Charlotte Tilbury Magic Away Liquid Concealer, which is the one with the very annoying sponge tip on it, which gets messy, and then this gets sticky and you can't open it or close it properly. But if you look at the back, because it's an airless pump, you can see I'm basically here. So this is all I've got left, and I'm lately just using concealer all over my face rather than doing foundation. I think maybe it's because I'm subconsciously trying to finish my concealers, so I'm just using them all over. And yeah, so I'm gonna be done with this probably within like 2 weeks to maybe at most a month, but I don't even think I'm gonna get a month out of this. And then I have, I think, 2 more Pat McGrath concealers, one Colourpop Pretty Fresh, and I think right after this I'm going to jump into the Colourpop Pretty Fresh because that is my oldest one in my collection, I believe. So I'm going to do the Colourpop Pretty Fresh after this one, but they'll probably come in the next update. Oh, I forgot to show you guys, obviously the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless filter, I think it's called. I use this as like a primer. Lately I've been forgetting to use this, which is annoying, but basically I put this under my makeup, just kind of basically everywhere. It's completely wiped off now, like it's in a state. And if you look at it, I really only have about like this much left in there, like just right at the bottom. So I think I'll be done with this pretty soon, and I don't have a backup, and I can't buy a backup because I have so many luminous primers that perform the same as this, or similar as this, that I can't buy another one of these until I'm done with like at least half of those, and that won't be until probably next year. So this is going to be finished pretty soon. I've taken out my Airbrush Flawless Finish foundation that I've mixed half and half with my Pat McGrath Labs foundation. I've basically mixed them together because I had half of this one, half of this one. I like both of them separately, but I think I prefer them together. Odd, combo. So because I had half of this one, I just mixed it into one bottle. It takes up less space as well. But I've put it away because I broke my no-buy to buy this foundation. It's the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Foundation in 2 Neutral. And I actually really, really enjoy this foundation right now. I think it does what the Airbrush Flawless Finish foundation does, but it is more luminous and it's a little bit more natural looking. And I'm like getting along with it pretty well. Like obviously this was full when I first bought it, and it's now visibly more flat. So I'll probably have this foundation in my routine for the next few months, like until I finish it. I'm going to try and actually finish this one, even though right now I'm focusing on concealers and just doing them all over my face. I'll try and finish this one. Maybe I'll finish it and then start a different foundation. But yeah, I'm going to just try and finish it. That's key. Then we have the Hourglass Loose Powder, which is basically done. By the end of this week, I probably will not have it. And then I'll be adding in just a different powder. I still haven't decided which one. I'll let you guys know next project pan which one I'm adding in, because I have this much left. And the issue with this powder is it's got this like whole plastic cover with like just the H in it, and you can't take this off. And now that I'm shaking it, I can't get much out, and that's what I'm saying. I probably won't finish the whole powder. I'll have like a tiny bit left, and I'm giving this maybe a week at most, and then it'll be done. And I have another one of these, and then I have, I believe, the Huda powder. I have a Milk makeup loose powder. I have a few, so I'll probably just jump to one of those, and I'll let you guys know in the next project pan which one I've decided to go with. Then I have my Charlotte Tilbury pressed powder. This is the Airbrush Flawless Finish in 1 Fair. It's always the same one that I get. Oh, it's looking dusty. This is how much we have left. Obviously not a lot. I'm just scraping the sides now. I think I have 2 or 3 more of these, and I don't use any other powders of this kind. Like, this is the only one that I use. So I'll just jump to the next one when this one is done, and that's how it will be for the next year, I'm assuming. Because I took out the I didn't tell you guys this. I took out the 6-pan Hourglass palette I had. I just found it very difficult to use it on an everyday basis because it was the same blush every day, the same bronzer, the same highlight. Like I just couldn't switch things up individually because it's all in there. Like I couldn't have that palette and then add in another bronzer because it was just annoying. And I'd rather, like, if I just need to switch out a blush, I want to just switch out a blush instead of having to switch out the whole palette. So I think that will be my like travel palette, or like if I'm going anywhere, that will be what I use. But I just want to, I think I just want to use individual products at home mainly. So I've just had to add in the ambient lighting powder into my routine, like the individual one, because they have 2 of those in the palette, but obviously because I'm not using the palette, I need one of these. So this is an ethereal light, and I think I have another one of these in individual packaging, and then I have 3 pans, I think 2 of those 3 pans. So this is where I'm getting along. I'm starting to like flatten it out now, but people say that it's very difficult to use these up. I don't find that to be the case because I literally dig my brush into this as hard as I can, and I literally just cover my whole face in it. So I've used up a few of these by now, and I find it pretty easy to use these up even though they're a baked formula. Oh, almost dropped it. And I normally get dim light, but they only had ethereal light on the Black Friday sale left in stock, so I got that one. It's not really much of a difference for me. I think this one's a little bit more pale than dim light, but it's a tiny difference. So I'm just going to use this until I'm done with it. And then for individual blush, bronzer, highlight, I have a few options just so I don't get bored. I have the Nabla Skin Bronzing Powder in Ambra, which is a kind of cool toned-ish looking bronzer. Very nice. I'm going to try and use these, maybe not completely, but maybe once I hit pan, or which is the whole project pan, maybe once I hit pan or just completely flatten out like the top surface, then I'll just switch it out to a different bronzer so I don't get bored. But I just want to get some good use out of this. Right now you can still see that it says Nabla on there, and obviously there's that like textured surface, so I'll try and get that done. Then I have the same Nabla skin glazing kind of blush in the shade Independence, which is just like this cool toned mauvey blush. I'm going to try and do the same thing, either hit pan or just flatten out the top. And then the one I'm doing the best with actually, which is kind of surprising, is the highlight in the shade Ozone, which is my favorite highlight I think of all time. Like I think this is like actually one of the best highlights I've ever tried. So I'm wearing today on top of a liquid highlight, but it just still looks amazing. It's the right shade for me. And I've made a huge dip in the center, but what I'm now trying to do is focusing on the outer bits, so I completely get rid of the writing, and then I can focus on just like getting rid of the whole top surface, and then maybe I can like hit pan and then move on to a different highlight, because I feel like once I hit pan, I don't have to like finish the product. As long as I hit pan, I'm gonna be satisfied, because it's, you know, it's still an accomplishment when you have a huge collection. Then for a different highlight, just for a different occasion, I'm going to try pan the Diamond Bomb by Fenty in How Many Carats, which is basically just a clear base with just silvery glitter going through it. I've used up about this much. I've like completely flattened it out, which is shocking for how glittery this product is. Like you wouldn't think that I'd use up this much of it, but I have. So I'm just going to try and focus kind of in one spot. I apply with my finger, I just kind of go like this and then just tap it on. So I'm going to try to focus in one area. Once I hit pan, I might just put this away. But I want to use it up. And then for kind of like an in-between gelée formula, I have the Super Shock Cheek blush in Gummy More from the Candyland collection. And I've hit pan on this before, and I feel like I can actually finish it because it's not difficult to finish these. I use these with a sponge. I just like scrape my sponge on there. But look at how much I've used up. Like I am definitely going to finish this. It smells really nice. I'm going to definitely finish this in the next few months. So I just kind of, on more natural days, I apply this. On less natural days, I apply a different blush. It's what I'm wearing today on top of like liquid blush. And I think it looks really natural. It doubles as a highlight sometimes because it's got glitter going through it. For setting sprays, I have a mini, like a travel size of the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. And then I have another full size of this that I'll be able to use up after this one because I like to use this to just set my makeup in place, make sure it stays all day. I have another full size of this. So those are the ones I'm going to be using for the next foreseeable month or so. And then I have the setting spray that's just been passed around for ages now. It's the Kylie Christmas Luminous Setting Spray mixed with the Limoncello setting spray put into a Charlotte Tilbury bottle. I know, it's confusing, but it's fine. It's just basically like this glittery, shimmery substance that I use to make my makeup look more luminous throughout the day, or just if it's looking a little bit dry and crusty, musty, I apply this. But as a whole, I'm struggling to use this up. I'm flying through this. So it's a bit of an issue, but it's fine. I will try to use up the luminous one, even though I'm struggling with it. Then I have the cream products / liquid products that I use right now. We have the Contour, which from Charlotte Tilbury. It's all the beauty ones from Charlotte Tilbury, by the way. This is the contour one in the shade Fair Medium. They have a medium deep as well, and I've used up this much of it. This is literally all I have left. I'm barely being able to squeeze anything out right now, so I'm almost done with this. I love it. I put it under all my makeup. The way I do my makeup right now is obviously I do my base and then I do the cream products, so cream, contour, blush and highlight. Then I set my face and then I do the same but just in powder form, so powder bronzer, powder blush, powder highlight, and then I set my whole face. And I feel like 1, it lasts much longer, 2, it's more pigmented, 3, I find it looks more natural. Even though there's an extra layer there, it looks more natural because you're doing cream then powder rather than just powder, so things don't look too like powdery and masky. I think it just balances everything out really well, and I find my makeup lasts a really long time, so that's what I do right now. And I'm almost finished with this. Then we have the blush in Pink Gasm, which I'm almost done with as well. And then I have the highlight, which surprisingly I'm doing quite well with. It's in the shade Spotlight, and this is how much I have left. I'm flying through these actually, so I think I'll be done with these in the next few months, maybe 2 or 3 months. I think these will be completely gone. But for more cream products on my cheeks / lips, it's difficult because I use these for both. So I have these Tinted Love products by Charlotte Tilbury. I have another shade which is the red shade, but I'm only using these right now. This one is called Petal Pink and the more nude one is called Santa Euphoria. Personally, I prefer Santa Euphoria, but I use this one as like an added bonus. So this one I use on my cheeks instead of the Pink Gasm. If I'm feeling like a less glittery look, I use this one and it's more natural. It's what I'm wearing today with the Candyland Super Shock blush on top. I think it looks a bit more natural. So this is what I do. I take it out, I scrape it on my hand like 4 or 5 times, and then I just take it on my finger, I dot it around and then blend it out straight away. Don't apply this directly to the face because you're gonna have dots of stains, and try and do one cheek at a time as well. And then you can see how much it stains because it's literally I've washed my hands like 3 times now. It's not coming off. Obviously, because it's going on top of complexion products, it doesn't stain your cheeks, but if you put it directly on your cheeks, it might stain. So just be careful. But I use this on my cheeks mainly, and then I use this on my lips, which I'm wearing today with just a gloss on top and a lip liner. But I'm going to mention those later. I'm wearing this on my lips. Sometimes I'll put this in the middle to make it more pink, but this is mainly cheeks, this is mainly lips, but I'm using these up because I just really, really love the way they look. For some like miscellaneous products, I have an eyeshadow primer from Sigma. It's the eyeshadow base primer in Ignite, which is just in like stick form, and it reminds me kind of Soft Ochre by MAC, like the paint pot, but just less drying, and I don't have to like rehydrate it as much. So this is how much I have left. I should be done with this pretty soon. I do eyeshadow primer even when I'm not wearing eyeshadow, so this should be done within the next 2 or 3 months. Then I'm also using the Sigma Longwear eyeliner pencil in Wicked, which is just black, but like, wow, like one of the most pigmented black eyeliners that I've ever tried, and it's super long wearing. And I put this on my tight line and sometimes on my waterline if I'm feeling like it, but it's so intense. I love it. So I'm gonna probably just be using this one until I'm done with it. Because this is like the best black gel liner that I've ever used. And for my eyeliner right now, I'm using the Glossier Pro Tip. I have a few of these and I have a few other ones that I'm trying, but this one is technically my favorite. I just have never had something come close to like what this does for me. So I'm just gonna keep on using this until it's done. I'm also using the Glossier Brow Flick in the shade Blonde. I'm almost done with this. I think it's like drying out now a little bit. And I'm using it with the Blonde Boy Brow, but I also have like 2 Charlotte Tilbury brow gels. I have some more boy brows. I have like a milk brow gel, so I'll just keep on switching them out when they dry out, and I'll show you them in project pans, but I think these are very easy to get through. So those are like the miscellaneous products that are like difficult to judge how much you've used up because they're just kind of like, they're just here. For mascara, I used up my Pat McGrath Fetishized mascara, so I threw it away. I started using the Charlotte Tilbury Legendary Lashes too, but I don't really like it as much as I like this. This is a random mascara I found in my collection. So when I went to Poland last year, I bought some Polish makeup brand products, and this one is called Vibo. I've Englishified the name. This is the name. If you're living in Poland, here it is. And it's the like Boom Mascara. I don't know. It's in like this bright fluorescent packaging. It just says Boom Mascara on it. It is a wand that I normally wouldn't like. It's completely plastic, very short bristles, and it's super fat and chunky. Look at it. But it literally is one of the best mascaras I've ever tried. I tried it for the first time today, and I handed my Legendary Lashes over to my mum because I just do not want it. This is incredible. It layers super well. If you wait like half a minute to a minute, in between layers, it lays up really well. If you don't, it will start clumping up and it will look ugly. But just wait until it dries and then layer up again. And this, 1, lengthens, 2, volumizes, 3, separates. I haven't used the mascara this good in a really long time, so I might have to buy these in bulk next time I go to Poland. Or I'll just get someone to send them to me in a big parcel, just buy like 20. But I have a lot of mascaras to get through, so that's not going to happen for now. I'm going to use this as a fresh mascara. I'll probably have it 3 months. After 3 months, even if it isn't used up, I'll throw it away because that's what you're supposed to do. But I'm sure I'll be done with it because I layer up mascara so much that I fly through mascaras. I don't think I've had a mascara for longer than a month lately because it just gets crusty and dry. But this is what this one looks like. It's just really nice. That's the mascara I'm using right now. So then for lips, I've used up one of these and I throw it out in between kind of my last project pan and this project pan. I've used up one of these mini Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk lipsticks, and then I have this one, which is once again Pillow Talk mini, but I have like half of it left, so I'll probably finish that in the next month or 2. But because I'm using this on the lips, I'm struggling obviously. Then I have some lip liners that I decided to pan for the next few months. I have the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat in Pillow Talk, which was a full size, I believe, that I have about this much of left. Let me sharpen it just so we see how much I have left actually, because obviously it requires some sharpening. I love when you sharpen a lip liner, it just looks so nice and fresh. Okay, so this is how much I have of the lip liner. But recently I was going through my lip liner collection just to see if I needed to like get rid of anything or if just anything needed like my attention. And I found this really old Kylie lip liner in like the old black packaging, which I'm assuming is gonna be expired soon or moldy in some way, shape or form. It still didn't smell bad or anything. It didn't smell like crayons. And it's in my favorite shade, Forever and Always. This was like my favorite lip liner of all time for a long time. Until I found Pillow Talk by Charlotte Tilbury, which I still think is the far superior lip liner. But this one comes very close. It's super pigmented though, so you need less of it than this one. And you can overdo this one by accident. This one I feel like it's foolproof. But yeah, I have this much of it left, which is less than obviously the Charlotte Tilbury. So I'm going to use this up before I use the Charlotte Tilbury up, just so this doesn't mold and get old. And then for cool toned, I decided to put in another lip liner, which is a bit, you know, I'm like really pushing it here, but it's the Colourpop Lippy Pencil in Cool BFF, which is my cool toned lip liner. This one needs sharpening as well. I feel like it's nice to have, so for example, the Pillow Talk is my pinkiest one. And then the Kylie Jenner is like a perfect in-between of pink and brown. I feel like it goes with both looks. And this one is just straight up brown, but like cool toned brown. So I feel like I'm like covering all my bases with the lip liners here, which is why I'm adding all 3. Because I feel like I'll just use them up equally. This is the biggest one though. So obviously this one will take the longest to use up. But those are my lip liners for the foreseeable future. For lip gloss, in the last few days, threw away the Kylie High Gloss in, I'll put it up on the screen. It was that one. They don't have it anymore. That like obviously Kylie rebranded, so any old Kylie products I have you can't buy anymore because I bought them like 3 years ago. So they're definitely expired and you definitely can't buy them anymore. This is another one of those products. It's a Kylie High Gloss in the shade My Moon and Stars, which is what I'm using up right now. I haven't used up much of it. I'm about down here when I take out the wand. I'm going through my Kylie High Glosses because they're the oldest glosses I have, and I threw away like 10 the other day because they all stank of crayons. So I have maybe 5 left at most, and most of them are like half used, so I can definitely get through them in the next year and then move on to my more recent lip glosses. But it's a good thing that I actually enjoy this formula, because if I didn't, I'd be stuck. But these are very easy to get through. There's not really much product in there as is. So yeah, I throw away, I think it's called Are You Shining? Something About Shining is that one that I threw out, and this one is a new one I'm using. I also have the High Gloss in Clear Out, which is just a clear lip gloss that I'm going to use as just like a lip balm when I'm not wearing makeup. And then maybe I can use these 2 up, and then I have other ones to get through. So I'm really trying these lip products because I have so many of them. Then for eyes, eyeshadow is a big point of issue for me when it comes to project pans, because I say that I'm going to use up a palette and then I get bored of it within a month, and then I just have to like come to you guys and be like, hey, I'm not using this palette anymore. So I decided to actually skip putting a palette into my project pan this year. I just don't think it's made for me. I feel like some people, I love watching their project pans because they just use up this like one eyeshadow palette and they beat it up and it's like all hit pan, and it's amazing. Not the kind of person I am. So I'm putting in some single eyeshadows, and then I'll be just using whatever eyeshadow palette I want to use that day. That's it. I have nothing else to offer to you guys. This is my final offer. No negotiations. So the first single shadow I'm putting in is one I actually got in a advent calendar, which I think I can use up pretty quickly. It's what I'm wearing. It's just the all over eyeshadow. Just I put it all over my lid, blended far up into my crease. It's the iPod by Chantecaille in the shade Tabac. It's just this single pot of shadow, and I thought it was powder, but it's more of like a gelée formula because I've moved it around with my finger today, and you can see it's like not breaking up. It's just like a gelée, shiny, shimmery. This I laid on like 5 layers today. I feel like with how unpigmented this is, I do not recommend this eyeshadow. It looks really pretty, but I think you can get this effect with literally any shadow ever to exist. That is like $2. This one, I've assumed because it's Chantecaille, it's gonna be, oh, my mind has been blown. This isn't Chantecaille, it's Westman Atelier, which is also very expensive. You don't need this. Buy a shimmery, shiny, champagne-y eyeshadow from somewhere else. This doesn't need to happen for you guys. I only have this because I got it in an advent calendar. Otherwise, I wouldn't have bought it. But now that I have it, I'm using it. And I've laid on like 5 layers today, which means I'm probably going to get through this very quickly. When I'm doing like a natural no makeup day, I'll probably use this either with something on top like I have today or not, depending on how natural I'm going. This, if you put one layer on, is super natural, but then you can layer it up to look more like this. Ignore the patch here. It's not patchy eyeshadow. It's because I have a spot here and the pigment is coming through. And then I decided to put in some single shadows that I need to get rid of in a good way. So my oldest ones are my Kylie eye glazes. I'm using a lot of Kylie products right now because these are my oldest products that I got when I was like on the Kylie hype train with everyone else. And these don't exist anymore. She doesn't have eye glazes in her collection anymore because she rebranded. This one is, these used to be my favorite products as well. This one is in Night Swim and this one's in Ocean Child. They are just eye glazes. They're shimmery, glittery eye glazes. They just look glazy on the eyes. I'll show them to you up close. This is Night Swim. It's like a neutral, goldy, browny, champagne-y. Very easy to use up. And Ocean Child is more yellow gold, but not too obnoxious. Just a yellow gold. I'll use these up somehow, but I'm only doing this because if I don't use these up, they're more cream products than not. They will dry out one day and then I won't be able to use them. So because they're still functional and workable, I'm gonna try and use these up, but you can't buy these anymore. So don't try and look for them because they don't exist. I don't know if she's gonna ever bring these back because they were actually really good products, but I don't know if they were really popular or not. I'm also going to put in the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk, which has been in my project pan for a while. It's just Pillow Talk. It goes with Pillow Talk. If I wear the Pillow Talk lipstick, I use this. You can see I've already made like a dip in it. It's got a similar vibe to the Kylie glazes, but not really. I haven't found anything that works quite like the Kylie eye glazes. It's like thick glitter, but it doesn't fall on your face, which is really nice. So I thought they were really good, but she's rebranded now. I don't know what's happening with her brand anymore. I'm also going to be putting in the Colourpop Super Shock Shadow in Ritz, which is just a cool toned one. So if I do obviously my cool toned lip liner, I can do this. I've actually broken this one a few times and I had to like repress it multiple times. It's a bit flimsy. Then the Colourpop Animal Crossing Balloon Pop Super Shock Shadow from the Animal Crossing collection. I've hit pan on it. I've hit pan on it again in multiple places. I'll be probably done with this by the end of the year. These are very easy to use up. Like Super Shock shadows, you move them around a little bit and you've already hit pan. Then I also have one called Lightning Bug, which is copper. It's the only copper I have. It's probably going to be more difficult to use up because it's more pigmented and like a more vibrant shade. So I probably won't hit pan on that one. And Solitaire is the more like neutral, just champagne-y shade. That's it. That's all I've got to offer for the eyeshadow department. And that is it for my project pan. Obviously, I'm doing quite well with complexion. I'm doing quite well with lips. I'm not doing well with eyeshadow. I'm doing good with mascara. And I'm not doing too well with like bronzer, blush, highlight when it comes to powder products, but cream products I'm doing really well. So there's some strengths and weaknesses for me with my project pans. But yeah, I'll try and keep this going for as long as possible and not change out the product too much so I can actually see some progress. And that will be it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, comment down below, anything comment down below, and subscribe because I post videos every time I think of something to do. So hit that bell. You'll be notified when that's happening. Social media links, any of the links in the description. I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.